All these images will pass before man on the resurrection day like a motion picture. So in those days, the Sahaba, they had iman on this, but they were thinking, how can that happen? You can just think. But nowadays, these movies, these tapes, this video that we are recording, this is proven that this thing that Allah is referring, where every single event in our life will be recorded and taped and brought in front of us, and we will be viewing our own films, the life of our films in front of us, can happen. It's no longer that in this age of science, that this is not proven. We are seeing by our own selves. There are things happening in this world where an event happened, and then people leave, and then that event has impact on the living beings, and there are cameras and technology right now that they can record those events and then show you what happened. So this science is now proving that what Allah is talking about here, every single thing in our life is being filmed and recorded and will be pronounced in front of us and showed to us. It's true. And even the science of this world in our age has proved it. There's no longer there's doubt about it. So in those days, 1400 years ago, probably there could have been doubt. People could have thought, how can it happen? But nowadays, it's no longer doubtful. And we have seen it. We see it in our front of our eyes. So here Allah is saying that on that day it will relate all her news. So it's referring to the earth, that the earth will relate all her news. Every single event that happened on this earth will be related. And on the 5th verse, and this inshallah will finish it on this, why will the earth relate what has happened on it? So here Allah has answered that, for your Lord will have commanded her to do so. So Allah's command will be followed. So here in this verse means intimation or indication. It is clear that the earth will rehearse everyone's record at the behest of God only. Whatever will happen because Almighty will order it, and everything will be compelled to obey Him. Now why is this event being talked in Surah Al-Zilzal? What is the implication in our lives for this Surah Al-Zilzal? We can just look at it, we can read it, we can study this surah and then pass through. No, that's not true. Whenever you read and study this Surah Al-Zilzal, memorize it, understand it, explain it to yourself, is that every single deed that we do, we have to have conscious that a day will come where it will be revealed. So what we need to do is we need to be very conscious, God conscious, and be very careful in our deeds. Sometimes what happens is we have our nafs where we do some deeds, either bad or good, but we think that nobody is watching. This is a sub in our conscious that when nobody is watching and it's darkness, sometimes we do misdeeds. But if you have this concept of akhirah in our lives, in ourselves, this by itself will stop us. And that's the concept what Allah wants us to, when we read Surah Al-Zilzal, is to put and practice in our lives, is be very careful for what you do each day. Whatever you're doing privately or publicly, there is events that's happening. We don't know that every single piece of our life is being recorded, filmed, recorded. There are two angels sitting on our left and right shoulders. They're writing every single events, every single deeds that we do. But the earth where we are living is also regarding the events. Our hands, our faces, our tongue, our eyes, every part of our body is also witnessing. Because all these hands, bodies are amana, are promise, are given by Allah to us to perform His ibadah, to follow His commands. If we don't follow His commands and we are not careful with our deeds, all of this will come back to bite us. So we have to be very careful when we read Surah Al-Zilzal, and this is kind of the message that what Allah is referring to. And inshallah in the last 3 verses, we will again review with Surah Al-Zilzal and do a conclusions of what the Surah Al-Zilzal is giving us the message, inshallah.